Hello, welcome to Jason the Millennial. My name is Jason, and we are another live stream. And I'm with my good friend Adam from What the Gym. Hey, Adam, how you
Hey,
doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to do this. Our first album exchange, we're reviewing 5 albums now.
Yeah, we added. This is our album exchange that we've been doing, and this is the first one of this year. So this is our January. We're trying to do one a month, so this is our January album exchange. Uh, yeah, we added a new member to the group. That's Jacob Martin from his channel, Jacob Martin, and yeah, he's a good friend that we do a lot of collaborations. And yeah, and he was like, hey, can I join in? And I was like, yeah, sure. So yeah, we started with 3, then we went to 4 with Nick, and then 5 with Jacob. And Scott from Sound Lab Studios might join at some time as well, so we might get up to 6 members. And of course, on my channel it's just me and Adam. We're kind of just reviewing all 5 albums. That each one of us picks an album, we all listen to them, and then we review them. So then Nick, Bryer, and Jacob, the other 3 members that have albums that they recommended here, they're going to do it on Nick's channel at some point. I don't know when, but definitely stay tuned to Nick's channel, Townsend 505, which will be in the description. If you look at the description of this channel, I put everybody's YouTube channels in there. Definitely check them all out and subscribe to them and watch these videos. And yeah, I'm pretty interested to see what the other 3 think of these albums.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a variety of albums that we get to. That's kind of the big thing about this album exchange, is getting to kind of everybody's personality in these albums, what they've listened to, and the rest of us probably don't know anything about. But yeah, because we got a little bit of country, we got some 60s bubblegum pop music, we got some 70s heavy metal, hard rock music in here. You got some 80s R&B, and You're the Cat is kind of a yacht rock.
Yeah.
I forget, when did that come out?
Progressive rock. That was mid 70s.
So mid 70s. So we got mid 70s kind of okay, prog rock, kind of mellow music. Anyway, so yeah, so we get to touch on a lot of different types of albums and music, which is very interesting. And why it's so fun to do these album exchanges. And my phone's a little wonky today, so I have to shoot it vertically. Unfortunately, I like to do it more horizontally, but we'll make
At
it
least
through.
we can still see you.
As long as you can see me and I can see the
We can see
chat.
your did you see that hoodie?
Yeah, you see a little bit better this way, probably. My Did You
I
See That
guess you could
merch.
say that Mike's part of the album exchange.
Represent Mike, yep, from Did You See That? For
Yeah.
sure. Always represent him. Yeah, and I can see the comments better this way, or the only way I can see the comments. So yeah, definitely comment what do you think about this stuff as we go through it. Yeah, so 5 albums. I thought we would start with Jacob Martin's album that he proposed to us to listen to.
Yeah,
And
it makes
that,
sense to start with him.
yeah, he's a new member. So
Yeah.
this is a album by Shania Twain, the really huge country star of the 90s period. And this is an album called Come On Over, which came out in 1997. And so I'll give it to you. Adam, what did you think of this album?
Well, before going into it, I only really knew her bigger songs, like I Feel Like a Woman, and that don't impress me much.
Mm-hmm.
And all those songs are on this album, so it's almost like a
Yeah.
best of Shania Twain
Yeah,
if I
exactly.
listen to it. So yeah, I'll give a take on it. I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. You start off with Man, I Feel Like a Woman, which is one of her biggest songs. I think it's a bit too overplayed in my opinion,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I do think it's a really good album opener. But I like the second track even more, which is I'm Holding On to Love to Save My Life. I don't think it was a hit for her. It's one of the deep cuts on the album, and I think it should have been a hit. I think the song's fantastic. Then you got the song "Love Gets Me Every Time," which I also think's really good. The fourth song on the album is "Don't Be Stupid," "You Know I Love You," which I also think's really good, really good song. But side two, I think I like even more. Well, I've done it, so it was like a double album. I've chosen 4 tracks on each side.
Okay.
That's how I reviewed it. So
Yeah.
when it gets to the next 4 tracks, that's where I think it gets really good,
Hmm.
because you got From This Moment On with Brian White, which I think is a really awesome duet on the album. It's the only duet on the album.
Yeah.
Then you got the song Coming Over, the title track, which I think is a worthy title track. It's one of the better songs on the album, I think. And then you got the song When, which I also think is one of the better songs on the album. And the next track is Whatever You Do, Don't, which it's not one of the standout songs for me, but I still think it's a really great one. Then you got If You Want to Touch Her, Ask, which I'm not really, I don't really approve of the album of the song title, but I do really like the song though. Yeah, I think the song's excellent. Just not a biggest fan of of the title of it,
Mm.
really.
Yeah.
But the next track is, yeah, it's one of their biggest songs. You're still the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been one of my favorite songs of hers.
Me too.
That was the other one. And you going into this. The next song is it's Honey I'm Home, which I think it's quite a hard song to follow up from with You Still the One. And in my opinion, this was one of my least favorite songs on the album.
Me too.
I don't remember much about it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But then you got the song That Don't Impress Me Much, which actually sounded a bit different than I remembered it being.
Oh, really?
It's because I'm used to the international mixed version. It's a lot more poppier and not as country sounding. But I prefer this version. I kind of wish that this was the version that appeared on the
Okay.
radio more.
Interesting.
There you got the song Black Eyes, Blue Tears, which I think is an excellent song. I'm not as keen on the verse as I am on the chorus for this one. I think the verses could have been a bit better, but the chorus is it's definitely one of the best choruses on the album. Then you got I Won't Leave You Lonely, which I think is a fantastic sort of slower song on the album. Then you got Rock This Country, which of course is going to be a rocker. Yeah, I think it's quite a good rocker. Not one of my favorite songs on the album though. And then the album closes with You've Got Away, which I think is an excellent way of concluding this. I think the biggest problem for me with the album though, it's too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to listen to it in 2 parts. But I enjoy it a lot more than I was expecting to. I thought it was a fantastic album. I'm going to give it a 9.5.
It's a good score.
Yeah, I'm sure Jacob will be pleased with that.
Yeah, he should be happy with that. What was your favorite songs on the album?
Oh yeah, I'll give it top 3 songs. So my number 3 is, if I can find it, there we go. It's From This Moment On, which is a duet on the album. My number 2 is I'm Holding On to Love to Save My Life. And my number 1 is You're Still the One. Yeah.
That's a great one. Yeah, I can't argue with that. Those are good songs. Yeah, I guess given my thoughts on Nick is here. Hey, Nick.
Hello, Nick.
Yeah, so Nick is the one of the members of our group, the Album Exchange, and yeah, definitely check out his. I'm seeing him in the chats, and it sounds like they're going to try to do it tomorrow if they can. Him, Bryer, and Jacob. They're still trying to figure out. Looks like what time they can do it, but it looks like they'll do it tomorrow or next day, pretty soon, hopefully. So we can have all of our thoughts together, and then we can give our album for the next exchange for next month. Yeah, this is, of course, Jacob is the country guy in the group. He's the biggest country fan out of all of us in the group, basically. And so it's no surprise his albums are going to be probably more country albums.
Yeah.
I think Jacob wants to introduce us to country because we don't talk about country on our channels. I don't know about you, Adam, because I'm not a big country fan. I don't hear you talk about country very often either. So
No, I've not found many country artists to really talk about yet.
Yeah,
I'd like to dive into more country albums on my channel.
Okay. Yeah. I actually grew up listening to country when I was like between the ages of 8 and 10. I was actually a big country music fan because Garth Brooks. I was a big Garth Brooks fan as a kid, and then about 10 years old. I transitioned into the Beatles, and I've been a Beatles fan ever since. But there was like a 2 year period where I actually was listening to a lot of country music, and in the early '90s, and I was actually really enjoy country pop. I would say today I'm not really into more traditional country. I find really boring. uh, but if there's a pop element to it, I can really and actually really get into it. Like I said, I really like Garth Brooks, and I like Carrie Underwood. So there's some country artists I can get into if they have a little pop to them. And Shania Twain's one of those that really was kind of, as far as as far as this album goes, this definitely is a country pop album. Definitely
Yeah,
has lots of elements of pop into it, with still has that country feel to it as well. So this actually kind of is in my wheelhouse, strangely enough. Even though I don't talk about country or listen to a lot of country stuff. And yeah, of course, Shania Twain, I knew growing up. She was a big name in music in the '90s. Even if you didn't, and the thing is, even if you didn't listen to country music, like I said, these four big hit songs on this album were on the regular pop radio. That's how. I mean, this is definitely an album. I think if you like pop music, you can get into this album, even if you're not a country fan. So I really get why Jacob had this to be his first album in our exchange, because this is definitely a good album for anybody who's not into country. I think if you want to get into a country album but you're not into country, this is a good album to start with. I think for anybody. And yeah, I'm definitely kind of like you. Like I wouldn't mind delving more into country music maybe and seeing what's
hmm
out there. I definitely is a blind spot in my music journey and discovery, and all that. So yeah, I thought this was actually I grew to really like this album. And I wasn't sure what to think when he had the Shania Twain album. I was like, oh no, Jacob's doing country, and I'm like, I don't know how much I'm gonna enjoy that. And of course, like I said, the four big hits were huge, and they were on the radio. I listened to them on the radio growing up. I used to watch VH1 music videos growing up, and that was a big thing. And a lot of all these songs were like those big hits were on the VH1. So I watched these music videos as well. So I wouldn't say I was in love with anything by Shania Twain, but I didn't mind it that much. I thought they're pretty catchy pop, kind of pop, maybe a little bit rock into them type songs. But besides that, I didn't know much else. Like I said, this is like the four biggest hits of her career, maybe. I don't know if there's
hmm
any bigger songs than these. So it's kind of crazy. It's like if you want to get like a greatest hits of Shania Twain, get this album, and you got the four biggest hits probably from her.
yeah,
Um, as far as I know from Shania Twain. Of course, Jacob knows more, and he'll talk more about it when he does the review of the album. He'll get to educate us more on Shania Twain. Um, but yeah, like when I first heard this album, I was like, yeah, there's some good stuff. Like I said, the I always felt like, man, I feel like a woman, and that don't impress me much. Was yeah, definitely overplayed. Like that was on
yeah.
the radio all the time, and the music videos I saw those all the time. So I did
Yeah,
get a little tired of them.
that didn't impress me much.
That didn't impress you, yeah. The songs after a while, yeah, I kind of grew tired of the songs. I remember in the '90s, kind of like, oh gosh. The other thing is they're definitely very woman heavy. Like, man, I feel like a woman. It's like I
Yeah,
hear
I'm
that
not going to be
song and I'm
singing
like,
that in karaoke.
I can't sing that song. Like I can't I can't sing along. Man, I feel like a woman. Bam, bam, like no, you can't. So it's definitely very like garnered towards women or something. I would say it's women empowerment kind of songs, which part of me was like, oh my gosh, these women empowerment songs, because I'm a guy. I was like, I'm not into that as much. So those definitely annoyed me at times. I find those to be maybe the most annoying songs for the most part. Um, but yeah, so getting to the album itself, like I said, I thought at first I was like, yeah, it's okay. There's some decent stuff here. But then on multiple listens, I actually found myself really liking the album. Every time I listened to it more, I was like, there's some of the best stuff is the deep cuts. Like you mentioned
hmm
some of them already, and I agree with you. A lot of these deep cuts are really good stuff and really helped the album. Though I don't know if it's a double album, but 16 songs, which is quite a bit.
Yeah, it's an hour long, the album.
Yeah, that's a long album. I kind of felt the same way. I wish they would have cut out 4 songs, made it. To me, an album should be, uh, I mean, 10 to 12 songs. I think is good for an album. You can stretch it to 14, like the Beatles had 14 songs, but all their songs were under 3 minutes. So all their albums were like 30 minutes long. So the old 60s, they can pull off like 14 songs maybe. But in today's music, I would say 10 to 12 is a good range, I think, of songs where the album doesn't feel too long. So yeah, 16 felt like a lot of songs on one album. So I wish you could have cut out like 4 songs out of here. I think it would have been maybe a 10 out of 10 album. It would have been just like a perfect album for me if they would have cut out the 4 like songs I didn't like the most. Anyways, saying that, yeah, I mean, Man, I Feel Like a Woman, still very catchy. You know, it's not one of my favorites on the album, but it's not bad. It's a obviously I know it very well. I do like that. Bam, bam, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
Like that.
that's the best part of it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
That's a real catchy riff. It goes throughout. And she's a good singer. I agree with you. I'm holding on to Love to Save My Life. Great song. One of my favorite songs on the album. Really poppy, a little rock in there. Super catchy. Yeah, one of the best songs I've heard from her that I'd never heard before. So great discovery there. Then there's some okay stuff. From This Moment On, absolutely amazing ballad, yeah, really, really pretty, really beautiful song. I didn't realize it was a duet. I didn't remember the meet a guy singing along, but yeah, there was a guy named Brian White who I'm not aware of, and maybe Jacob will talk about him when he does review. He probably knows who he is. He's probably another country singer. I don't know. Yeah, absolutely beautiful, beautiful song. Then I'm gonna skip over to When. Uh, Another absolutely amazing pop song. Amazing deep cut on the album. This is a song that really I just couldn't stop singing to or kept.
yeah.
It stayed in.
I feel bad I didn't get my top 3. That one. That was one of them. I was annoyed it didn't quite make it.
Yeah, because you said you really liked it too, which I was happy that you said that because I felt the same way. I was like, this is a really good song. It's crazy this wasn't like a big hit song for her because when it gets in that chorus, when money grows on trees, like oh my gosh, what an incredible chorus. Really catchy. I love the overall kind of theme of the song and everything about kind of getting over a breakup and wanting to get back together. Really good stuff there. Yeah, You're Still the One. That's always been. I always really liked that song. When I was a kid, like I said, when I was a kid watching VH1 music videos, this would come on a lot, and I always thought it was a really beautiful love song. It's a really beautiful love ballad. And she has a couple of these on this album that are really good. But yeah, it's just really lovely. It's just a song about, probably talking about her husband, in saying, you're still the one I want to be with for the rest of my life, all this stuff. And it's a beautiful song. Unfortunately, they got divorced and he ended up being a horrible person, I guess, is what I'm hearing from Jacob. So it's always funny when you write this really incredible love song and then it doesn't work out. And you're like, oh, well, you weren't the one, I guess, after all. You're singing, you're still the one. It's like, no, not necessarily, but still a really great song, I think, from her. Honey, I'm Home is so, yeah, that's terrible. And I think it's because it's more country than pop for me. I did not like that song at all. Yeah, it's like more country rock. I'm not into. That don't impress me much. We were kind of talked about that. It's okay. It's catchy. It's fun. I always felt like when she said, so you look like Brad Pitt. So what? That don't impress me much. I'm thinking, if Brad Pitt doesn't have a chance, I don't have a hell of a chance, So I was like, what the heck does she want? I always felt like when I was young, I was like, geez, nothing can please this woman. That's why I felt like, so I felt like what can you do? Like I wouldn't even try because if all this stuff doesn't impress her, I'm like, what can I do? I have nobody. Anyways, but so I always felt annoyed by that. Black Eyed Blue Tears, another great pop song. I agree, really great. I Won't Leave You Alone. Yeah, I thought was really good. Rock This Country, I thought it was terrible. It was the 2 songs I really did not like were Honey, I'm Home and Rock This Country. And you can tell Rock This Country is going to be very country because country's in the song title. And it is. It's just too country for me. So I wasn't into that song. And then a great ballad to end the album. You've Got Away, another absolutely amazing deep cut on the album I never heard before. Man, is it a beautiful song. It's a beautiful love song. Uh, love her voice, love the melody, just amazing. Yeah, so after listening to it like 3 times, I kind of found myself going, this is a really good album. Like I really shocked how much I like this album. Like I think you said, you're surprised, I'm surprised.
Hmm.
I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Kind of close to what you gave it. I was not expecting to give this a 9 out of 10. I thought this was gonna be a 7.5 out of 10 when I first heard it, or maybe an 8 out of 10 at the most. But no, it's grown on me after like 3 listens. I'm like, yeah, this is a
Yeah.
really good album. And yeah, for me, this is the big hits aren't necessarily my favorite either, which is kind of crazy. Because I have number 3 is You've Got Away, the closer, loved it. Number 2, I have You're Still the One. I thought that'd be my number 1, but I ended up putting number 2 because the song that I really grew to love was number 1 is When. When was to me the catchiest song on the album and the one I sang to the most and the one that stayed in my head the most, I guess, out of everything. Though I'll say honorable mentions. From This Moment On, I really love that song. Sorry I couldn't get that in there. And I'm Holding On to Love. I love that song too. Those are 2 honorable mentions that couldn't quite get in, but anyways, yeah. So both of us are very positive on.
I think we both have the same favourites as well.
Yeah, I think we both liked a lot of the same stuff. Um, yeah, so very positive album. I think we both recommend it to anybody who's not in the country.
Yeah.
And
I'm now a Shania Twain fan.
yeah, now I need to listen more to Shania Twain. To me, this is a great crossover album. Like I said, it's an album for country fans and pop fans alike. And this has got to be her biggest album of all time. I can't imagine her having a bigger album
No,
because,
don't think she will.
yeah, I'm sure this is the biggest one for her. See what Nick says. Personally, I wasn't that crazy about this album. It's a bit too generic for my liking. Nick is he's a little different than like what my taste is on country. He likes country, but he likes more traditional country. He likes more of the old style country. He's not into country. I'm speaking for Nick, but from what I know from talking to him, he's not into country pop as much. He doesn't like the pop country. I'm the opposite. I like the pop country. I'm not into the traditional countries, I call it.
I like a bit. I like a bit of both.
Okay. Let's see. I listened to it once a month ago. Wasn't crazy about it then, and to be honest, after listening to the album again, my score dropped.
Oh no, the score dropped.
Mine went up. The more I listened to it, the more my score went up. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, and he says, "Yeah, I'm right." Okay, yeah. So I got it right. Yeah, he likes Johnny Cash. He actually enjoys George Strait, I guess. That he listened to recently. But yeah, he's like not into, I don't know, more poppy or country stuff. Anyways, like he doesn't care for Taylor Swift. I don't really care for Taylor Swift's early stuff either, though. But anyways, all right, let's get to our second album review. And I thought we would go with Everything's Archies by the Archies.
Yeah, do that one.
And I think this came out like 65. I didn't write down the time, but it's like
I think it was late 60s.
Was the late 60s?
Yeah.
It's a 60s, I would call bubblegum pop album. Very catchy bubblegum pop type music. Kind of like Hermits, the Monkees. I don't know, maybe kind of that kind of term anyways. But
yeah, they're a bit like them.
Yeah. So what do you think about Everything's Archies?
Well, I found it quite interesting that they're a fictional band.
Yeah.
They're a band from a TV show called The Archies. But the main character is called Archie Andrews, which I found quite interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I saw part of the episode that Sugar Sugar appeared in, and that was the only song I knew of theirs, was Sugar Sugar.
Yeah.
I think they're sort of a one hit wonder band,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So I think this album's really good. It's not a very long album either. It was only just over half an hour.
Yeah, they're not long songs.
But on Spotify, it's very different to the actual original version. It's got extra songs and songs that weren't included.
Yeah, there's like 2 versions on Spotify, evidently.
Yeah.
I guess the one that we're supposed to listen to, which I didn't notice at first, was one that says on Spotify, I think it says Everything's Archies digitally remastered. And,
right.
and that's
I just listened to. I ended up listening to it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. You listen on YouTube.
and some of it on Spotify. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'll go through my thoughts each track. You start with Feeling So Good, in brackets Scooby Doo. Yeah, very catchy, fun, upbeat song. Yeah, I think a really good way to start on the album. Then you got Melody Hill, another really good song. Rock and roll music, but it's not the Chuck Berry song.
No, it's not.
So that's what I was expecting. But I heard it. I thought this is not Chuck Berry's version. That's really like the song. Then you got the song Kissing, which yeah, I think is a really good one. Then you got Don't Touch My Guitar. Yeah, I think that one's pretty great. But to me, I think the album, I think that this song's amazing. And Circle of Blue, I think it's a very underrated song.
Yeah.
And at side two, you got the biggest song, Sugar Sugar,
Hmm.
which yeah, I love that song. It's
Yeah.
very fun, catchy song to sing along to. And then the second track I think is also just as good. And that's You Little Angel You. And then the next song on the album is yeah another one of my favorite. This is actually my favorite song on the album. It's Bicycles, Roller Skates, and You.
Oh, really? You love that one?
Yeah, I think that was excellent. It's one of the more slower songs in the album.
Yeah.
Then you got the song Hot Dog, which
Hot
was
dog.
it's not the greatest song, but it's quite a fun song to listen to. It puts you in a good mood. Then you got the song Inside Out, Upside Down, which I think is really good and it ends quite well with Love Light. But overall, yeah, I thought it was a fun, easy listening album. It wasn't too long to get through, and it
Yeah.
had some pretty incredible deep cuts, not just Sugar Sugar. And I'm
Yeah.
going to give it a 9.25
Nice.
out of 10. That's my top three. But number three is Sugar Sugar. Number
Oh,
two, Circle of Blue.
yeah.
And my number one's Bicycles, Roller Skates, and You.
Okay. Oh, not Sugar Sugar.
No, but it's definitely got my top three, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That's definitely the big hit song on the album.
yeah,
uh, yeah, very recognizable. I can see some people really hating this album. It's like, oh, it's too bubblegum pop, you know. I'm like, it's fun, it's catchy,
yeah. I think it's great.
it's not bad. Jacob in the chat. So,
Jacob,
Jacob, hope you
before you
saw.
reviewed, yeah, before you reviewed your album,
I know I reviewed your album. Hopefully, you saw some of that review
but they both gave it very high
because
scores.
we both, yeah, very positive on that album. And he said he'll share, of course, his thoughts on Nick's channel. Yeah,
Yeah,
interested in hearing you guys' thoughts on these albums, of course. That's the fun of this. Uh, Nick's like, sorry, he doesn't like Shania Twain's. Yeah, you seem to be the most negative so far, Nick. We'll see what Bryer thinks. Yeah, hot dog. Yeah, it's kind
yeah.
of.
It's fun but dumb.
I'll say about the album. Yeah, it's very super bubblegum pop. I mean, that's definitely the description I'd give it. It's just very fast. I mean, it's very catchy pop music for the most part. Hot Dog seemed to be like the one kind of more rocker. It was maybe the most rocking number on the album, if I remember right. Most everything else sounds kind of the same. It's very kind of in the same kind of pop style music, I would say. Yeah, interesting. And I never really heard about the Archies, but except for Sugar Sugar was a huge song on the radio growing up. When I was listening to the radio station, that was the only song that they had that was played quite a bit. And I always enjoyed that song as a kid. Yeah, it's super catchy and it's fun to sing to. And I like the vocals. I think vocals are actually really good. And for most part in the album, I really enjoy the vocal work. I don't know who sang on it. That'd be interesting to deep dive on the Archies and be like, who are the Archies? Who are these people that sang on this album? What did they do after this? You know, it definitely feels like an album that's really almost garnered towards younger audience to me. Like I can see a younger teenagers really enjoying this album. And I would say if I was like a young teenager and I heard this album, it would probably be like one of my favorite albums of all time because it'd be like the style of music I would love as a kid. Just very, you know, and it's because it's a little childish at times. I think like Kissing to me, I didn't like that song because it just felt a little too childish, you know, just kissing,
Yeah,
kissing, whatever.
yeah,
And just trying to kiss this girl. It's just like it's just a little cringy to me. Uh, the one about the guitar also didn't think was very good, and the hot dog one, yeah, I wasn't into that one, but everything else I thought was quite good, or at least pretty fun and enjoyable. Yeah, feeling so good. Oh man, I really like that song. That's one of the best songs. I mean, I would say I heard from them, but I haven't heard too much from them. But outside Sugar Sugar, feeling so good. Oh my gosh, that is one of the biggest earworm catchy songs. That feeling so good, a Scooby Doo Doo. It's so good.
Yeah,
It's like why do you?
it just makes you think of Scooby Doo.
Yeah, it makes you think of Scooby Doo. It's like why is it Scooby Doo in there? I don't know, but man, is it one of the catchiest choruses? Loved the chorus there. Definitely one I could sing to many times. Melody Hill I thought was really good. Really enjoyed that. Rock and roll music, yeah, I wasn't really into that too much. It was okay. Circle Blue, yeah, really great song. Like another song that I was like, great deep cut that I was like, this could be a hit song. This was really good as well. Yeah, the Circle, there's some good harmonies on there actually. I thought the harmonies were really good on Circle Blue. Yeah, Sugar Sugar. I love that song. Love the bum 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 bum. Whatever that
Yeah, I'm not sure
riff.
what the instrument is.
Yeah, I don't know what the instrument
It's got a very unique sound to it.
Yeah, and I love that kind of riff that goes throughout the whole song. Even when they're not singing the chorus and they go dan 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 dan, dan whatever, dan dan, sugar sugar, you're my candy girl. Yeah, oh, loved it. Great song. You Little Angel You, I really liked. It felt like a kind of like a doo-wop song. It had this kind of 60s doo-wop into it that I kind of like some good doo-wop. So I kind of enjoyed that for the doo-wopness of it. Bicycle Roller Skates and You, I thought it was a decent song. I thought it kind of grew. I don't think I liked that first, but it kind of grew on me the more I listened to it. It's not one of my favorite on the album, but it's fine. Inside Out, Upside Down, another song I really liked. I thought it was another really nice, catchy song. And Love Light was okay. But yeah, overall, uh, again, another album. The more I listened to it, the more I was into it, enjoyed it. Again, I think it's a little too childish at times, maybe, all that. But saying it, it's still a fun, catchy pop, bubblegum pop. And I like bubblegum pop music. I like the Monkees. I like Hermit Hermits. There's some people that are going to be like, oh, I hate bubblegum pop music. There's probably going to be a lot of hate out there for these albums. People that like Led Zeppelin and, Black Sabbath are like, oh, I hate this type of music. I like Led Zeppelin and I like bubblegum pop. I like both styles.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
yeah, you too. Okay. For my top three, yeah, number three, I'm going with Circle Blue. And I think you had that in yours. Yeah, I thought that was a really good song. But number two, I'm going with Feeling So Good. Oh my gosh, that was what a great discovery that was. And then number one, Sugar Sugar. It's the typical one, but I can't go away from it. It is one of the catchiest songs on the album and of the 60s time period. Great stuff. And I'm giving it a score of 8 out of 10. I didn't give it quite as high as you, but I still very positive about the album, I think, overall. And it's funny, I first listened to the other version because I didn't know there's two versions of this album. So I listened to the first version, and it's a little bit longer, I think, and it has a lot of extra songs on it. And I didn't think that one was that good. And then I found out by Nick that I listened to the wrong version. So I was like, man, I went all this trouble listening to this album, and then I didn't listen to the right one. So I had to re-listen to this one, which was not easy to find. I felt like it was a little bit harder to find on Spotify or something. But anyways, yeah, overall, a good, catchy, fun bubblegum pop. It's not gonna be it's not gonna be on my top 100 favorite albums or anything, but it's a fun album.
Yeah.
All right. Jape says, I plan on doing a deep dive of Carrie Underwood on my channel. Yeah, because you had a poll, and I voted for Carrie Underwood on your poll. So I would love to do Carrie Underwood too. I really like her first album. It's good. 12 of the 16 songs on Common Over released as singles. 12? Holy cow.
A lot.
12 singles?
A lot of singles.
The whole album singles. Like, okay. That's an idea.
75% of the album singles.
75% of the album singles. It's like, wow. I've never. Some albums maybe have one single, you never know. But yeah, so he says, you may not like Shania's follow-up album Up. That one has 19 songs on it. So
even longer.
That's a long 19 songs.
I don't think Nick's going to be listening to that one.
No, he's not gonna like that one. Um, yeah, he says, I feel like I'm on overdrive with 16. So 19 sounds like way too much. Yeah,
I think
I
I
agree.
think I think you should listen to it, Nick. Do it.
I said the same thing. I said we should cut down to 12. She went up. She didn't go down.
That's quite funny.
The wrecking executive's like, so 16 was a lot of songs. What should we do on our next album? Shana's like, I want to do 19. Like, what? Well, you are the biggest country artist, so why not?
I think Dolly Parton released an album that had like over 30 songs on it
Really? Oh my gosh.
fairly recently.
Really? I don't know if that's a country thing or. Brian White was a country artist that had some hits in the late 90s. His biggest country hit is called Someone Else's Star. Okay. Don't think I know that one. So, yeah, he's a country music singer, obviously. Personally, I love alternating between the Archies and Sabbath. Two completely different styles of music. Come On Over is her biggest album. Yeah, I figured it's got to be. I personally love Up as an album. Yeah, that was your favorite, I think. But he also recommends A Woman in Me. So she only has 7 albums. Anyways.
Oh, I thought she had more than that.
You would think so, but she had Jacob said she had some health problems or something like that, and she went through a divorce, and so I guess she had a big time period where she didn't sing. All right, let's go to Bryer's choice, which is an album called Rising by Rainbow. I'm joking, Bryer. I know it's Rainbow, but I thought this was a Black Sabbath album. First time I listened to it, I was like, is this Black Sabbath? What is it? But this is from 1976. It's a hard rock heavy metal album, which makes sense why Bryer would bring it to us because he likes that style more than, well, I'd say more than me. I don't think I'm not into hard rock heavy metal as much. I don't know if Adam is.
Well, you see, find out.
Yes. I know Nick likes heavy metal as well, and Jacob's getting into it as well. So I might be the only one who's not into it. We'll see. So, Adam, what do you think of Rising?
Well, I first heard this, I think it was last year or the year before.
Really?
Bryer recommended me to check it out.
Okay.
So when it went for the album exchange, I thought, well, that's easy. I've already heard that album. But we reviewed an album with 16 tracks. This one's only got 6.
It's the lowest one, yeah.
Yeah. But we'll start with the first track, Turret Woman, which I think it sets the tone for the whole album. It's one of those songs, if you're not a fan of it, you're probably not going to be a fan of the whole album. But luckily,
yeah,
I was a fan of that one.
Okay.
I think Run with the Wolf, which I think is just as good as Turret Woman. They got the song Starstruck, which I think is even better than the first two. And the next one, Do You Close Your Eyes? I like Starstruck and Do You Close Your Eyes pretty much equally. I think they're both really excellent songs. But side 2, you've got the song Stargazer, which is one of my favourite heavy metal songs. I think it's a really epic, fantastic song with incredible vocals, instrumentation. It's definitely the highlight of the album for me. And then it ends in Light in the Black, which to me I think Stargazer should have closed the album, not A Light in the Black. But side 2's got the longest songs, are both over 8 minutes each.
Yeah.
But to me, Stargazer didn't feel like 8 minutes. It only felt like 4 or 5 minutes. But yeah, there's only 8 tracks. Not really much else to really talk about with the tracks. But I'll give a top 3 though. So number 3, Do You Close Your Eyes? Number 2, Starstruck. Number 1, easily number 1 for me, the Stargazer.
Okay.
And I'm going to give it a 9.25.
Wow. Okay, so you're a bigger fan than me.
I've heard another one of their albums. It's called Down to Earth, which has got their biggest song on it, Since You've Been Gone. And I think I prefer the album a little bit more. It's a bit more poppier sounding.
Okay.
The songs aren't quite as long.
Okay, I might like that more than.
But I give it the same rating as this one, 9.25.
Okay.
It's got my favourite song of theirs, with of course Stargazer.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, you like the album way more than I do.
really.
I'm kind of alone on this one. I feel like everybody's gonna love this album. I'm like, I wasn't into it. It's just not my style of music overall. The kind of heavy
But
metal.
yeah, I've got to be in the mood for this sort of music.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But when I'm in the mood for it, yeah, I think it's excellent stuff.
Yeah. Bryer really likes this. He's more into. I want to say he's the most into heavy metal out of the group. Though Nick likes heavy metal as well, and they both are into Black Sabbath quite a bit. And this definitely has a Black Sabbath feel to me. When I was listening, I was like, yeah, this definitely like is in the ballpark of a Black Sabbath album. So it makes total sense that Bryer would love this album. This is definitely down his alley. I can see Nick loving this album. I would be surprised if Jacob loves this album. Everybody's gonna love this album except for me, unfortunately. I hate to be the one downer maybe on the album. Uh, yeah, it's nice to have only 6 songs. I kind of like that after the 16 song album. But with 6 songs, yeah, like I said, a lot of songs are pretty long. I feel like they're all like over 6 minutes long, maybe. Most of them are. You said 8 minutes even. Yeah, that's too long for me on this type of music. And my big problem with this style of music, I think, is the guitar soloing tends to be the shredding. You call it like the shred.
Yeah.
They shred it. I'm not into that style where it's just like I'm like, oh, it's like I don't know, too fast paced. It's not. I don't know. I don't care for that style. I like it more slower. I mean, I like fast solos. I like that, but not very long ones maybe. And but I do like when you have some cool like slow bends and slides, and it's a little more melodic. I don't know, it has more of the melody in it. These kind of guitar solos don't have the melody in it at all. They're just super fast paced, guitar solos. Anyways, I don't know. I'm just not into it as much. I think that's why I can't get into it as much. Um, but we'll say like the lead singer, really good singer. I thought he had a great rock voice. I forget who it is. I know it's a guy that sang for Black Sabbath, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's one of those guys. It's not Ozzy Osbourne, but it's like one of the other guys that sang for Black Sabbath. So overall, I liked his voice. I think he had a really good voice as far as rock music goes. And like the instruments are really good for if you like that type of music. The guitar was really good, and the drumming and all that. Definitely very talented. So I would say this about the album. I would say uh, I admire the musicianship of the album more than I like the actual album, and I admire like the lead singer and all that more than I liked the music itself. In saying that, I'm not gonna say it was a horrible album. I don't. I'm not saying it's like one of the worst albums I've ever heard. Terror Woman, yeah, I thought it was okay. It had this really cool long intro to it, and I really liked the vocals on that one. It was okay. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. Run with the Wolf to me by far was like the best song on the album. That was the catchiest song on the album. That's the one song I would say I liked and I would listen to again. That's probably the only song I would probably go back to on the album because I thought it had a good chorus to it, and I kind of like that Run with the Wolf. And I like the guitar playing on it. I thought for the most part it was really really cool and catchy. And yeah, overall, it's to me the most commercial sounding song maybe on the album that I could get into. Um, and then I'll say, "Do You Close Your Eyes?" I thought was okay. I didn't mind that one too much. But Starstruck, Stargazer, A Light in the Black, I thought were really boring songs. I
Oh,
really did.
really? You
Yeah,
thought
I
they were
really did not
boring?
like the 3 songs. To me, I was bored. I thought they were way too long. I did not get into those songs at all. They're just not my style, I guess. I wasn't into it. Yeah, so overall, if I do a top three, it's kind of hard, but if I was to do a top three, number three, I'd say Do You Close Your Eyes? Number two, Terror Woman, and by far the best song was Run with a Wolf, as I mentioned. To me, that was
And
this.
I thought by far the best song was Starstruck
I know that's what
or
you said.
Stargazer. Yeah,
You're like
this
that's
is
by far the. I'm like to me one
yeah.
you didn't, and you didn't have Run with the Wolf I think in your top three. So
No,
no, so I enjoyed that.
different.
I enjoyed that more than I guess than you did maybe. I don't know, but you enjoyed the other stuff probably more than I did. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10, which is not bad for. I know I was very negative on the album, but 7 out of 10 is not a terrible score for the
It's still a good
style.
score. Yeah,
Uh, yeah, it wasn't a terrible album in that sense. Just wasn't. Like I said, I give it a 7 because I thought the musicianship was really good. So that made, and I thought the singing was really good. So there's enough that I like to give it a 7, which still is not a real positive score. Like, this isn't an album I would go back to. I don't know if it's even an album that I could grow on. It would grow. It's not an album I think if I listen to it, I would like it eventually. It's not one of those type of albums. Yeah, it's not one of the worst, but it's not one I would ever listen to again, unfortunately. So
Well, recommend you check out the song of theirs, Since You've Been Gone.
Since You've Been Gone, okay.
I think you probably would have heard that one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm not familiar with the band Rainbow. Never heard of the band before until Bryer mentioned the band. That's kind of the first time I heard Rainbow. Rainbow sounds like a nice poppy band, but it's not.
Well, there's a TV series called Rainbow. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I was familiar with. The British BBC series.
All right, I got a lot of comments here. Jacob says, my only real problem with the Archie's album is that songs came off the same after a while, which that's a fair criticism. They do sound fairly, they're all bubblegum pop music. So yeah, there's not a lot of variety on the album, that's for sure. And Nick says, that's how I felt with Shania Twain's. Hence why I said it felt a drag with 16 songs. Yeah. So yeah, Nick felt like the Shania Twain album felt the same after a while. I can kind of get that. The only songs I hated on the album were Hot Dog, Kissin', and Love Light. Okay. I agree with Hot Dog and Kissin'. Those two were some of my worst songs on the album. I wasn't into those, but the biggest earworm on Rainbow is Starstruck. Yeah, one of them I didn't like, but Adam liked it.
Yeah.
See, oh, so we got Bryer also in the chat. You got Ronnie James Dio, yeah, and Richie Blackmore. Okay, yeah. So I mean, Richie Blackmore, great guitar player, great hard rock guitar player. So that makes sense. I'm not into Deep Purple either, though. They're not a band I really enjoy that much. So yeah, hey,
Mike.
There he is, Mike. Did you see that, Mike?
Yeah. Did you see it himself?
Yep, we're both doing pretty good.
Doing good, yeah.
See, Since You've Been Gone is when they went for a more commercial sound. Different singer. Okay.
Yeah, different singer. I forgot to mention that.
Okay, so that sounds like more my type of album. If it's more commercial. Thanks, Bryer. All right, I thought we would cover my album next, and we'll end with your album. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right.
We go with Lionel Richie.
So the album that I brought to the album exchange was, Lionel Richie album, Can't Slow Down. And there I got the vinyl. Came out in 1983, the year I was born, actually. So really good year. This was a huge album this is his biggest album. Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie, in the 70s, he was in a band called the Commodores. Yeah. And they had a lot of hit songs like Brick House and It's Easy, I think is one of their songs. They had a lot of Three Times a Lady, I think was a big song of theirs. And he wrote a lot of songs for the Commodores. And then in the 80s, he came out as a solo artist and had a very successful solo career. I have his first album as well. His first album I got on vinyl, just called Lionel Richie. It's a really good album too. Then I believe this is his second album. So he came out with that. Really good stuff, had some hit songs on it. And then he comes out with Can't Slow Down, I think second album. And yeah, absolutely amazing album. And for me, like I always really liked Lionel Richie growing up. He was definitely somebody that I heard on the radio quite a bit. Love a lot of his hit songs and all that. So I always really liked him, really wanted to get more into his music. And so when I was doing my top 100 favorite albums, I was listening to a couple of Lionel Richie albums to see if any of them would fit into my top 100 favorite albums. And this one definitely did. This is obviously, it's really high on my list. I think it's in my top 15. In fact, I can't remember exactly where it's at, but I have it fairly high on my list on my top 100 favorite albums. Yeah, so when I heard this album, I was like, oh my gosh, this is definitely going in my top 100. And this was probably, 3 years ago when I first heard this album. So it's not an album I grew up with or I, had a big discovery of it. it's just an album that I discovered, trying to get into more, trying to come up with a list and trying to listen to as many albums I can. So this is one of them that was definitely on my radar that I definitely need to listen to this. And yeah, absolutely love this album. That's why, and I brought it to the album exchange because I don't feel like we talk about Lionel Richie enough, and not just me, but like, or just not just us, but nobody I feel like in the vinyl community talks about Lionel Richie. And in fact, one time I mentioned Lionel Richie, and I kind of got made fun of by another vinyl community member who I won't name, but and I kind of felt like what like I was really kind of surprised somebody like kind of made fun of me because I like Lionel Richie. So I thought everybody liked Lionel Richie. So then I
Yeah.
found out that I guess there's people out there that don't care for this style of music, and but I absolutely love it. I would categorize it as a bit of R&B and a bit of pop music. Maybe you can put like soul music in there. I don't know.
Bit
Um,
of soft rock. I
Soft
like.
rock.
Yeah.
Yes, very mellow, soft music. Yeah, very beautiful music overall. I really love the music on here, the musical instruments and everything going in besides his voice. But I love Lionel Richie's voice. He's one of my favorite vocalists. He has just he has just smooth vocals. He's just very smooth singer. Yeah, I just love his vocals. And he also writes all the songs on the album. So I think he's a really good songwriter. He probably didn't get talked enough about his songwriting, but he writes really good songs. He writes really good love songs. He's one of the best songwriters because most of these songs on this album, I would say, are love songs. And I said one time, I think, and I stand to this, that if you had a girlfriend over and you wanted to, you want to be real smooth and you want to be really romantic, like put this album on your record player, as you have dinner, and you'll win her over with this music. It's
Yeah.
that type of music that you can sit down with your loved one and really enjoy it, I think. But anyways, also it won album of the year at the Grammy. So I mean, it's one album that Lionel Richie got that won Grammy album of the year. So that was pretty big as well. But yeah, getting into the album itself, I mean, it's only 8 songs, so it's kind of cool. We talked about Rising had 6 songs. This only has 8, so it's not a very long album, really. Kind of easy to get through. And I would say 7 to 8, I absolutely love. The only song I wasn't into was the first song, "Can't Slow Down," the title track. It's a little more disco funky, but it's the only one that kind of has that disco funkiness to it. And I wasn't into that as much, but everything else, absolutely great. Just absolutely fantastic, top notch songs. I mean, the second song is "All Night Long," huge hit song for him on the radio. I didn't write it down. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a number one or something for him. Man, is it a great chill song. It's just about hanging out at a party. And it's like you're at a party all night long, all night. Oh my gosh. It's just like one of the songs you just really groovy, get into that vibe.
Mhm.
Love it. Great song from him. One of his big hits. Then Penny Lover, another hit song for him. Really great. Another great love song from him that he sang quite a bit. I know it's a staple of his concerts. Thought that was great. Uh, Fourth song, "Stuck on You." I mean, this is almost like a greatest hits album. These are some of the greatest songs from Lionel Richie, I think, on one album that you're going to get. And I love "Stuck on You." Amazing love song, so catchy. Just love "I'm on my way, mighty glad you stayed." Love the acoustic guitar, love the electric guitar when they come in, and just love the whole idea of the song is it's just about being so in love with somebody. I'm stuck. I'm not leaving you. I'm always going to be with you because I love you so much, and I'm so happy that we were together and I found you. Oh, just amazing love song. But I just love that
Mhm.
"Stuck on You." Oh, so good, so catchy. That great chorus. 5, "Love Will Find a Way," another really good song. 6, "The Only One." This was almost a kind of a discovery for me. I don't know if this was. I don't think this was a hit song, but it's one of my favorite of his. Another great love song, and it's got one of the greatest choruses on the album, I think. "You turn me inside out, and you bum 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 bum." Oh, just an amazing chorus. Great vocals on that one. Love that. "Run with the Night," another really really good song. And then you end with my favorite Lionel Richie song of all time, "Hello." uh, oh my gosh, I love the music on this. just the background music. It's almost got this melancholy sadness to it. I don't know. It's something about that. It's got a really cool vibe to it, I guess, for the song. And it's about a guy who's, seeing this girl that he likes, and he's wondering, are you looking for somebody, because like I'm that guy, and he said, hello, is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your, oh my gosh. Well, again, amazing chorus. Love his vocal work. Love their overall music. It's so wonderful. Really creates a cool atmosphere, I guess is the word I'm thinking for, of the song. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. One of his all-time best. Yeah, so saying that, yeah, I can't recommend this enough. If you ever want to get into Lionel Richie, I think the first two albums are really good. I need to listen to more of his stuff, but definitely this is a good starter. If you want to get into him, I would say start with this one. This is some of his best music of all time. Some of the best 80s R&B pop music you're ever going to hear. And yeah, top three. Number three, I'm actually going with The Only One. That song really grew on me. One of my favorites of his. Like I said, two, Stuck on You. I mean, this is like top five best Lionel Richie songs, I think. And then number one, like I said, is my favorite Lionel Richie song of all time, Hello. Absolutely amazing song. Big hit for him. All Night Long is an honorable mention. That's such an amazing song. It didn't get into my top three. That's how good this album is.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. I think this is a perfect R&B pop album. If you want to if you like pop music, R&B, man, soft rock, this is the album for you. All right, what do you think, Nick? Adam.
Well, we'll find out what Nick thinks soon.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts. Yeah, I think I agree. The album's excellent. I've known Lionel Richie for quite a while, but listen to this album, it made me become a Lionel Richie fan. But I'd already heard it before the exchange, though. I heard it when I was on holiday a couple months ago. I was listening to it in the car with my mum, with my mum, and she really liked the album as well, but she didn't like it as much as I did. I thought it was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
It started with "Can't Slow It Down," which I agree, it's not one of the best songs on the album. I think it's a bit of a weak track to begin the album with.
Yeah.
They got the song "All Night Long," which when I was listening to it, I didn't realize it was that long. I think
it's kind of long.
The radio edit version.
Yeah.
But I still love the 6-minute version as well. I love the whole atmosphere of it. It's sort of like a party sort of atmosphere. You hear people cheering in the background.
Yeah.
You can tell everyone's having a great time in this one.
Uh-huh.
They got the song "Penny Lover," which I think is a real great love song. But then you got "Stuck on You," which is one of my favorite Lionel Richie songs.
Oh, great!
I think my favorite song of his is "Say You, Say Me."
That's a great song.
And my second favorite is probably "Stuck on You."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a perfect love song. Nothing else to really say about it. They got love will find a way, and the only one. I think they're both excellent. I think Running with the Night's really great. And of course, you end with "Hello," which another one of his best songs. And it's crazy that your favorite Lionel Richie song's "Hello," and your favorite Adele song's "Hello."
It is. Two great songs called "Hello."
I like songs with the word "hello" in it.
I do.
Quite interesting.
It's funny. I have a greatest hits album of Lionel Richie, and the very first song on this greatest hits I got is "Hello" is the first song, and the last song is "Goodbye."
Well, it makes sense to me.
I thought that was so great. He opened it with "Hello" and ended with "Goodbye," which I didn't know he had a song called "Goodbye," but I was like, that's perfect. A perfect greatest hits album.
But I think maybe "Hello" should have begun the album.
What's that?
I think "Hello" should have begun the album.
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, why didn't he begin with "Hello"?
It's a bigger song on the album.
Yeah.
It's got a great music video. I love the music video.
Yeah.
Well, not sure the rest of them have music videos. I know that one does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm going to give it a 9.25. It could go up to a 9.5, but for the time being, it's 9.25. Top three songs. Well, number 3 is "All Night Long." Number 2, "Hello," and number 1, "Stuck on You."
Okay.
Yeah, but top 3 are the hits. I can't escape.
Yeah.
Can't escape from them. Yeah.
We had the same top two, anyways. Yeah.
They're some of my favorite love songs of this time
Yeah.
period.
Yeah. Totally agree.
But I want to get Lionel Richie album at some point. I might get a best of Lionel Richie.
Yeah, definitely. And I
But
know there's one
I really like his
dancing
work
on.
with the Commodores as well.
Yeah, yeah. I've never listened to too many Commodores. They're more in that disco funk area, I think.
Yeah.
But I know he's got one called "Dancing on the Ceiling." I think it's popular as well. I haven't gotten into that one yet
Yeah,
either.
that song appears on the radio quite a lot. That one.
Yeah, yeah.
I've always liked the title of that one,
What's
"Dancing on
that?
the Ceiling."
Yeah,
I've always liked the title of that song.
yeah, yeah. And the music video is pretty good on that one too. Yeah, "Say You Say Will" I think was from a movie. Um, I wonder if it's on an album. I don't know if it's on an album, but it was in a movie, I think, or something like that. And I think he got Oscar nominated. Maybe even won an Oscar for it.
What
Um,
film was it?
I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's one that I even knew about or was aware about. Um,
Maybe the film's called "Say You Say Me." I don't know.
Say you, say me. Yeah, great song. Jake Martin mentions commercial equals sellout, according to the Genius, which is a kind of
Oh,
made up character.
it's the film White Nights.
Okay, I don't know that one.
Never heard of it. Sounds interesting.
White
I like
Knights,
that song.
great
So
song. Uh, we have a joke in our group that yeah, if you play commercials sounding songs, if a band starts singing more commercial, more radio friendly songs, they're people call them sellouts, and we don't like to use that word in our group because we're like, they're not sellouts, they're just writing good music. Like people say Genesis sell out when they start doing poppy music, which I'm like, no, it's just really good Phil Collins music. um, Jake says, I've always liked Lionel Richie and I'm glad you suggested the album. Oh, thank you.
yeah, it's great singer songwriter.
Is just somebody I really want to talk about and talk about more. I think he's really, really good. So fun fact, Lionel Richie wrote a country song for Kenny Rogers called Lady. Yeah, Lady is a good song. Lady. Yeah, they're both good friends. Okay.
That's cool.
And then he mentions, All Night Long and Hello were number one hits. Yeah, I thought they probably were. So yeah, that's more to the album. I said it's a huge album, Grammy Album of the Year, 2 number one hits. Yeah.
And it was around the same time he sang the "We Are the World"
Uh,
song.
and then you got the Real the World. That's a big
Yeah,
one.
it,
Yeah,
it,
other
it,
singles.
it was in its peak at in that period.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely that early '80s period. Yeah, so those singles were top 10. So I mean, yeah, really, really good music. Says I agree. This is an amazing R&B album. I need to listen to more of his albums. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I've always liked Lionel Richie. I feel like he gets too much hate. Yeah,
Yeah, it
I,
doesn't get spoken positively enough in the VC.
yeah, he's one of those guys. Like I always said, John Denver doesn't get enough love. Lionel Richie doesn't get enough love. Yeah, certain people like that. I don't know. Don't get a lot of talk about in the vinyl community. Vinyl community seems to be more, classic rock.
Yeah, classic rock. Yeah,
Yeah, they like classic rock music, but then once you get into pop music, they're like, "Oh, that's terrible." I'm like, "No, it's pop music can be good, rock music can be good. It's like folk music, it's all good." All right, so now last album we'll get to is the album that you suggested. So
yeah,
if you want to go first and talk about
yeah,
why did you pick this album, Year of the Cat?
yeah. By Al Stewart, who's a Scottish singer-songwriter.
Okay.
The first heard about this album, I was just browsing through the internet or on one of the websites of a record store I live near, and I saw this album. I thought it had a pretty cool album cover, and I
Yeah.
found that it was 1976. So I thought it's my sort of year of music. So I'll flick through the album. I thought the album sounded good. Then I actually went to the record store. I bought it brand new.
Okay.
So when I heard it all the way through, first time before, yeah, I thought it was excellent. And I heard it a second time not that long ago, and I loved it even more second time round. I loved it that much. I thought we've got to include it as part of the album exchange.
Hmm.
But it was either this or a Robbie Williams album.
I know.
But we're going to review that on my channel. That Robbie Williams one.
Okay.
But for this album, yeah, released in 1976, and it was recorded in Abbey Road Studios.
Oh yeah.
And also, I think somewhere in California as well, but mainly produced in Abbey Road. This is the only album I've heard of his, but it's made me want to listen to more songs of his. So you start off with the track Lord Grenville. Straight away, you start with a fantastic song, in my opinion. Spoiler alert: it's my favorite song on the album.
Oh, okay.
You start off with my favorite song.
Wow.
Yeah, I love the whole story, the whole vibe of the song. I think Al does fantastic vocals on it. So the song's about Sir Richard Grenville. He was an English naval commander who died against the Spanish forces. So instead of surrendering, he actually fought back, but by doing that, it actually killed him.
Wow.
So it's quite a sad story, really. But
Yeah, it's very
I
English
still love the
sounding.
song. Yeah.
Lord Greenville. It's like, that's got to be English.
So the second track on the album is On the Border, which I think is another it's a song that got that sort of theme of the first song. I think it's to do with the Spanish once again. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic song. It's more of an upbeat sounding song compared to the first one. They got the song My the Shadow, which I think is another fantastic track on the album. Sand in Your Shoes, another one of the standouts for me. I mean, this whole first side, I think, is a pretty perfect first side to an album. And then you got If It Doesn't Come Naturally, Leave It. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. Side 2, I don't think it's quite as strong, but I still think it's an excellent side. The first track, Flying Sorcery, I think it's just as good as pretty much any of the songs on the first side. Broadway Hotel, it's probably my least favorite song on the album, but I still think it's really great. Then you got One Stage Before, which I think is excellent. And of course, you end with the title track, Yeah, the Cat, which I think is a worthy title track. It's over 6 minutes long, so it's the longest song on the album, but it didn't feel that long to me. I love the vibe of that one. It's quite a chill, sort of mellow song. But I always think maybe Lord Grenville should have ended the album and Year the Cat should have began the album. It's quite interesting. Lord Grenville's the album opener. But I can't complain too much because it's my favourite song of his. He started off with my favourite song of his, so I can't complain too much, I suppose. But I'm going to give the album 9.75 out of 10.
All right.
That's my top 3. My number 3 is On the Border. 2 is Sand in Your Shoes. And my number 1 is Lord Grenville.
Interesting. Year the Cat didn't make it in there.
That'd be my number 4.
Okay,
yeah,
I was wondering because I thought that was
the biggest
probably
song on the album.
I thought that was the biggest song.
That didn't even make my top 3.
Yeah. Were any of these? Do you know if were any of these hit songs? I never heard these songs before.
I think the Cat was a minor hit.
Okay. I was wondering because I wasn't aware of any of this music.
He's not an artist that many people really talk about.
No, nobody talks about.
I mean, I've never heard of him until.
I've never heard of him until you.
A year or 2 ago. Yeah. But I don't know any other albums he's done. So other than this, I don't really know anything else about his music.
Okay, I was going to ask if this is his big album. Do you think, or?
I think it's his biggest album. Yeah.
Okay, I had a feeling this probably was like the big one for him.
I love the album cover for it.
Yeah, it's pretty busy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got a lot going on.
It's one of those album covers that you can sit there for ages just looking at.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I never heard of Al Stewart before. That was a new one. I mean, when he had it on the poll and that ended up winning. And I think that's because a lot of the people in our group love Cats, so I think that's why it won, but I might be wrong. I vote for Robbie Williams because I haven't heard Robbie Williams before, and I really want to listen to a Robbie Williams album.
I'll get you to listen to it at some point.
Yeah, I need to.
We'll review that one on my channel.
I need to figure out what the big deal is about this Robbie Williams guy. But yeah, so that's cool. I like that we brought something new to the table that I was not aware of at all. I mean, I wasn't aware of Rainbow either. Shania Twain, I was definitely the most aware of everybody. And everything Archie's, I was aware of one song. But anyways, so it was really cool discovering this new album. Year the Cat. I don't know if I've ever heard this album or this is an album. I feel like I maybe have heard Year of the Cat was an album, but never ventured into it. So there might be a fandom that I just don't know about on Al Stewart and in this in this album specifically. But yeah, 1976. I would, like I said, I would describe this as yacht rock or very mellow style of music. Al Stewart's voice overall is just very mellow, kind of
Mhm.
smooth style
Yeah,
to it.
he doesn't over sing
No,
on any of the songs.
no, he doesn't at all. It's very interesting. Yeah, because I listened to it. It's a very different, unique style of voice to me in a sense that you don't really hear. Because, yeah, he doesn't hit big notes at all. He doesn't hit high notes or anything. He doesn't, his vocal is kind of same, somewhat at the same range the whole time, but it's very nice sounding. He has a very nice sounding voice. It's definitely, like I said, it's a very mellow album that you can just sit and just kind of enjoy and mellow out to it, if that makes sense. Um, so yeah, it's kind of interesting in that sense. I will say though, there's a band called Death Cab for Cutie. If you ever heard of that band, they have a similar vocal style, I think, as Al
Yeah,
Stewart.
it's quite similar to one of their albums
Yeah, I've listened to a couple of
songs.
Death Cab for Cutie, and they have kind of a similar style to the vocal work. That's the only person I can describe his singing to. It's not really similar to a lot of different singers I usually listen to. Um, but yeah, get into this album. I agree. Lord Greenville, really good song to start the album. I thought it was one of the best songs on the album. Really great melody. Love the piano and strings. I should say I would say one of the best things about this album is really well produced album. Probably the best produced album that we have here at the Album Exchange, and it was produced by Alan Parsons, who
Yeah,
uh, produced Dark Side of the Moon, I know, and he of course had his own Alan Parsons project, his own band that he had some song or
and of
albums
course
with.
that this this was in Abbey Road as well. So
And it's
any album in Abbey Road sounds great.
yeah, so yeah, so I think it's a really great sound overall. The sound, like the production, really really good. Like I said, there's a lot of good piano and strings on a lot of these songs that I found. I really enjoy that. But yeah, Lord Greenville, really good song. Yeah, I agree with you. One of the best on the album. Um, on the Border was fine. I like the Hughes guitar on that one. Um, I'll just go out and say like Midas Shadow, Flying Sorcery, one stage before were songs I didn't really like. I thought they were kind of boring. And that's the only problem with his style is that sometimes it's very it's very soothing kind of music, and sometimes it's kind of boring because just the style of music is a little slow at times. That's just kind of style he has. So he gets into that problem area where I get a little bored with some of the songs on here. But then there's some songs I really love, like "Stand in Your Shoes." Great song. Really like that song. I agree with you. It's one of the best songs on the album. Another great, again, a lot of these songs have great melodies to them, I think, overall. And this one, I think, in particular, was very catchy. I think the chorus and everything was really good. Yeah, it definitely was a big standout that I was like, yeah, this is definitely one I would listen to over again and put on a playlist and be more interested. Probably, I mean, right now I'd say it's one of his best songs, but I haven't heard any of his other albums. But I can
Yeah,
see this being like one of his best songs just by what I'm hearing. If it doesn't come naturally, leave it. Really like that song. I thought that was a really good song. Broadway Hotel, I thought was a really good song. Again, I thought it was very catchy. Loved the overall melody. The violin was great on it as well. Definitely a highlight here. And then the closer, Year of a Cat. Wow, what a great song. I really like the song. Uh, Again, love the orchestra music, love the guitar playing on here. And I just love how he sings on the song, and I love when he goes, "It's the year of the cat." Like just the way he sings that is so.
it gets stuck in your head, that part.
Yes, it
Yeah,
does. It really gets stuck in your head. Yeah, after you hear that song, you're like just singing to yourself, "The year of the cat." I don't know. It's such a great line in the song, and the way he sings it, and the overall music, I thought was really good on that one. Yeah, I can see that being a hit song. I thought, yeah, this should be a big hit song. It was really good on the album. And yeah, it could have been an opener, good opener. Good, overall, you got a really good opener, really good closer to the album. So very good the way he what do you call it?
Yeah.
put the songs together, transition them and everything. Um, yeah, so for me, yeah, I'm going number 3. I'm going with Lord Greenville, Grenville, whatever. Yeah, really great opener. Number 2, I'm going with Sand in Your Shoes. Really great song. I thought real highlight on the album. And then number 1, I have to go with Year of the Cat, the title song. And like I said, you said that's probably the biggest hit on the album. I totally get it. I can see that being a hit song. I never heard of it before though, but I'm
Well,
like, yeah, this
I'm looking on Spotify. It's got quite a lot of streams. It's
does
got
it.
over 100 million.
Okay.
It must have been a hit for him then.
Yeah, I guess it was just not, maybe not in America. Maybe it was a hit in more in England. I don't know.
Maybe in
Uh,
Scotland as well.
Scotland.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a big hit in other places, not much in America. I'd be interested, yeah, knowing about that. But yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, that I would say those top 3 songs and like Broadway Hotel, those 4 songs I would say definitely check out from this album. I think are real highlights on here. And I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Not quite as high as you, but I thought a really solid album. One, maybe could grow on me if I listen to more. Who knows? It could go up my list or my ranking could go up, my score could go up, whatever. But still, I think a good score for an album I've never heard and an artist I never heard of. That it was a cool discovery overall. I
Yeah.
think album. I know we got some disagreements amongst our group, so it'd be interesting to see what the other.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what we think of all these
Because I
albums.
know, so Nick says it was a pleasant surprise and he liked to hear the cat, so that's good to hear. Someone who didn't enjoy the album is unfortunately Jacob Martin, and I know he said he gave the score in the chats. He didn't like this album. He
It's
says
got
he
a
needs
very
to give.
distinct. It's got a very distinct sound to it.
It
So
does.
yeah, it can't really. It won't really appeal to everyone.
Yeah, he wasn't a big a fan. Which
But I had a feeling he wasn't a fan of that one.
lately Jacob has some hot takes though on music. Like he gave Ringo's Sentimental Journey a 10 out of 10. He loves Sentimental Journey, but then he gave John Lennon's debut album Plastic Ono Band a 2 out of 10, which
Really? Wow.
I think most of us would say John
Yeah.
Lennon's album's better than.
I think. Yeah, I think Sentimental Journey's gone up my estimations, but Plastic Ono Band to me is an amazing album.
I know most people really love that album. Jacob 2 out of 10. I was like, holy cow, Jacob! Like that was quite a hot take on that. Yeah, the production is great on all the songs, but I can't stand his voice. Okay, so it's a voice issue. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I can see that. I guess in the sense that his voice is different. I think.
I think the production and the lyrics are probably the best part of the
Yeah,
album.
I agree. I guess I can see you saying he's not a strong maybe vocalist because he doesn't, like I said, he doesn't hit big notes. He doesn't hit like high notes. He doesn't, he just kind of stays in the same registry, which I guess I can see someone saying, yeah, it's not as good as like a Freddie Mercury or something, let's say, sure. But it's a different style, I guess, and it works for the style of music that he's doing. Anyways, but so I can see that, Jacob, I guess. The only song I knew from Al Stewart was "You're the Cat." I've heard it on 70s radio station. See, I never heard that song. So he has. Okay. I don't know why I missed out on that one, but all right. So that's our 5 albums that we reviewed. Come On Over by Shania Twain. Everything's Archies by the Archies.
Yep.
Rising by Rainbow. Can't Slow Down by Lionel Richie. And You're the Cat by Al Stewart. So definitely, and thank you to all comments came from the other members, Bryer, Nick, and Jacob. So I'm glad you guys are in the chat and you got to hear our thoughts on it. And I'm excited to hear your guys' thoughts on these albums. And yeah, what we're going to differ on some of these. Like I know Rainbow, I definitely differed on everybody. And Jacob's going to differ on You're the Cat, probably. We'll see. Overall, thanks to you guys for participating.
It was great discussion, reviewing these albums.
Yeah. Great, like I said, great variety of albums, like you said. We definitely got a bit of everything on here, which is always nice on these album exchanges.
All these albums have definitely got songs that I'd revisit.
Yeah, I think you liked all of them pretty much, right?
Yeah. I think all the albums we've gone with for the exchange have been pretty great albums.
Yeah,
I don't think any of us have chosen bad albums. Hopefully it will stay like that.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, thank you to Adam for joining me here again as we do the album exchange, and we'll do another one next month. And we don't know what those albums are yet. We'll see here probably next
And
couple of days.
I'll be different. I'll be 22 next time. I've got a
Ah,
birthday this
happy
weekend.
birthday!
Yeah,
Yeah,
got it on Sunday, the
wow,
2nd of Feb.
wow. A year's gone by already. Because I remember when you turned
Yeah,
21.
and it doesn't feel that long ago, does it?
It doesn't. It doesn't feel like it was that
Well, it
long.
doesn't feel that long ago since it was your 40th.
Yeah. Overall, pretty positive thoughts, I think. But
Yeah,
just rising was my only negative, real negative thought. um, but I think Bryer understands that. Bryer probably knows that's not my style, so I'm sure he won't be too disappointed. Anyways, thanks to everybody commenting,
yeah.
and
Thank you.
definitely comment if you're watching this later. What do you think? If you heard these albums, what do you think? Really love to hear anybody's thoughts on this stuff, and we will do another one next month. And until then, we'll see you then.
Yeah,
Hope you have a
thank
good
you.
of the weekend.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Ciao.